Alright, y'all, we are at my first flip and we finally got this thing completed and we're all scheduled to close next Tuesday. So I'm super excited about this, but I want to let y'all know this first flip did not go as expected. This flip was supposed to be about 4 months long and cost about half, a little bit less than half of what we actually put into it to renovate this house. So I'm gonna just go over some things that we did, some choices I would do differently, and how I would do a flip in the future if I had to do it all over again. Let's go ahead and take a look. Still recording. All right, so look, first outside things that we did. This was regular colored brick, like you see all the other houses in the neighborhood. So like reddish brick, so we painted the brick white. We painted the shutters blue. We added these lights here and we added these stones here, but the grass is grown, right? So we need to cut the grass. We're under contract right now. We added a garage here. We didn't do anything to the roof. And then actually, let's look in the backyard. So it used to be like a scattered trees in this backyard. We had to hire somebody to come remove a bunch of trees so the yard would be as open as possible. There was a big shed with the tree that had fell on it back here. So we had to remove that and get that taken out. We had to demo that, grind a few stumps. This fence was already here. We didn't do anything to the fence. So those are the things that we did on the outside of the building. Right here, there was a wall right here where we have the stove and the countertop here, but there was a huge wall that we knocked down and then we redid this countertop. This is all brand new counters that we put in here. Well, countertop, and then we painted the bottom cabinet. So these cabinets are here are brand new. We knocked down all the old cabinets, put new cabinets up and then painted them. And then, so the kitchen is all new. This wasn't right here. So we put a wall right here to put a pantry up here. So we have a pantry closet, but this wasn't here. This was just a space, and then like I said, there was an actual wall. And I'll show y'all some of the before pictures here. A wall, and then the doorway opened up here. This was closed off, so we created like a little archway so you could go from the kitchen to what you would call like a formal dining room. All right, so you come in here and we have the accent wall, right? Go ahead and make the room pop. New lighting. We painted everything. We painted the trim, painted the walls, and then we can go back through this way. All right, so like see, paint, and in here we have a bathroom, mirror, new vanity. All of this is new shower. And then this being the master bedroom and bathroom. So off the rip, the number one thing that I would change or do differently whenever I do a flip is to get an inspection after I do all of the work. Right. If we would have just hired an inspector to come and take a look over everything that we did, me and partners not being experts in everything there is to do with construction or a house, I would hire an inspector to go back and check over everything. Somebody, just like a teacher checking over your work. Because we didn't do that, we had some other expenses that came up when we put the house on the market and the buyer got an inspection, right? There were some things that came up that we didn't know about or that we didn't see that we also had to put more money into. Number one thing I would do is to get an after inspection to make sure you just covered all your bases, right? Number two, this house was purchased foreclosure, right? So we kind of was able to get in here before we bought the property, but whatever this is, I would have added a more contingency percent. Actually, we didn't even have a contingency percent. So I would make sure to add contingency in my project schedule, on my project budget, and in the project schedule, because we went way over what we thought the house is gonna be. And like I said, we couldn't really do a deep inspection beforehand because it was a foreclosure, but we were able to do that, right? All right, so now I would get an inspection. After I'm done, I would definitely add contingency to my project budget. I would ensure and vet all of my subcontractors that I'm using to make sure they're reputable and verifiable, and I would ensure the quality of their work. How do you do that? You call their referrals from the past people that you have done this for, they have done work for. You have to be very, very thorough whenever you're doing this, because you're gonna get people that come to the job that won't do it in the amount of time that they say they quoted you, and the quality of work won't be good. We had issue with, you got to verify your subcontractors and your general contractor. So if you're gonna use a general, in the state of North Carolina, you don't have to have a GC license for projects under $40,000. We assumed this project was gonna be under $40,000 first off, right? And then, so we didn't need to hire a GC. So we thought we were cutting costs by not hiring a GC. In reality, we should have had somebody with way more construction experience and knowledge to do this project for our first flip. right? And we had some knowledge, but we didn't have all the knowledge. We should have sought out somebody with more knowledge before getting into this. And also, this was a partnership. So the fourth thing that I would do is ensure all partnership details, all potential foreseeable risks, all stuff is documented for the actual partnership and agreement to ensure that everybody is staying on top of what their role is in the agreement. You want to outline roles, so you're not just saying what should we do or what should I do? All the roles should be outlined as far as who's doing what for this partnership on this renovation of a house should go. And then the number 5 thing, you have to have your bookkeeping tight. Whenever you are doing a flip, there are costs that you will incur on a project that you either planned for or you didn't plan for. But you need to keep track of them all, because that is going to truly help out your tax basis when it comes for tax time. And then whether you made a profit or whether you broke even or whether you lost money, those receipts, that good accounts receivable and accounts payable bookkeeping matters a lot, and it will help your company become more profitable. So make sure that you take good care of your books. Those are 5 things that I would do if I were to do a flip over again. I don't think I will, just because I'm more into the new construction, and you don't have to go and guesstimate what a potential renovation would be, and you can just start fresh from the ground up, and you can do something new and something visionary. That's kind of what I'm telling to. But hey, if something comes along, yeah, I might just take a look at it. But those are the 5 things that I would do if I were to do a flip again.